guys? So I am Danielle Arana with Relationshift. Others know me from Connection Media, but this is something that I'm actually doing that I launched this year. Thank you. So what we're going to talk about is marketing, branding, networking. And so whenever we're talking about marketing or branding, right, what are we talking about typically in our business? We're talking about, we're talking about whatever you're selling, right? We're talking about what's our logo going to look like, what's our website going to look like, where are we going to host our next event, things like this. This is things where we're like, marketing, that's what we're talking about. But today, I'm going to take it to another level. And so one of the things is we're going to learn the rules to win the game. There's rules out there to each game, and if you don't know the rules, then guess what? You're going to lose. You're not even going to play, likely, okay? So we don't want that to happen. So just a little bit of my background. I've had over 25 years of customer service and sales experience. I owned an entertainment company from California for 4 years. That's where I was a singer, DJ, karaoke host, all that good fun stuff. I owned a Mary Kay direct sales company for over 14 years. I've managed and trained employees from 1 to 50. And that's people, not age. That too, actually. Let's talk about that. I'm also a mother of 7, grandmother to 4, wife to 1, and a God-fearing woman. You better believe that. So that's a little bit about me, and then I also have another job that I work during the day. So this is my family, just to kind of give you an idea. These are my children, one with her husband, and then 2 of my grandchildren, missing 2. We need an updated photo. There's me and my hubby. I picked that one because I was thinner in those days. Okay, and just for fun, this is when I was cool. Okay, I'm that girl over there. I was born and raised in Ventura, California, and I was what you would call a Hollywood chola. Do you guys know what a chola is? Okay, so a chola is a little gangster girl, but I was Hollywood because I saw one Hollywood movie, Mi Vida Loca, and I'm like, I'm a chola now. I'm hardcore, as you can tell. So what do we think about? We already talked about marketing and branding, right? We talk about what does our business need and how we're going to make people see it. But we're going to talk about your personal brand, okay? So I am going to zip through this. I got about 10 minutes before I have to get to my next appointment. We got this. Ready? All right. So where you shop, how you're behaving on social media, how you're behaving in person, okay? What are the words that are coming out of your mouth? Okay, and then of course, how are we dressing? Okay, these are all really important things when it comes to your personal brand. That's hot. It's a good outfit, I like that. All right, so you have 7 seconds. That's right, 7 seconds. Within the first 7 seconds of meeting people, you will have a solid impression of who you are. Creepy. It is the reality. And some research suggests a 1/10 of a second is all it takes to determine if they can even trust you. A 1/10 of a second. Okay? A Harvard study revealed that it typically takes 8 subsequent positive encounters to change another person's negative opinion of you. So make sure you are being persistent and you are playing the game. So if you're sitting here going, oh my gosh, I have made some mistakes. Okay, it's okay. But it takes 8 times. So just be persistent, okay, to create a different idea. Questions to ask yourself when you're branding yourself. Who is my client? What do they wear? Yeah, it's important. Who do they know? How do I want to be viewed? What do I want people to think of me when they are thinking of me? And what do I want people to say about me and my business? Okay? Because you are your business. So keeping that in mind. Okay? The other question is, do they even want to know me? You have to make it so they want to know you. Why wouldn't they want to know you? Well, I don't know. Maybe you get in their face too much when you're talking to them. Maybe you stink. Okay? Maybe you have an angry face when you're first meeting people. Maybe you chew with your mouth open and no one thinks that's cute. Okay? Maybe you're always screaming when you enter a room. Okay? Now, mind you, you will find your people no matter what. They will find you, but you have to ask yourself, who am I trying to find for my business? Okay. Example, there's this little girl that I know. She was about 11 years old and she came to me. I'm actually her aunt. She comes to me and she says, Thea, I am having problems. Nobody likes me at school. I'm getting bullied. I'm feeling really depressed. 11 years old, just depressed. I'm going, this is really unusual, right? So then again, I obviously told her everything that she had to offer the world. But then I said, well, let's evaluate. What's going on? Well, because she's my niece, I know her. I know she gets in your face. I know she chewed. Oh my gosh, her eating habits were atrocious. She always got in your bubble. She always yelled, I'm here, right? So I said, okay, what I want you to do is change a few of those things. And so we did. We had her changes. I taught her some manners. She was going to a brand new school, right? Don't get in people's faces. Don't ask them to be your boyfriend right away. They don't know you, right? Don't insert yourself in conversations that you don't know what's happening. Just, pull it back a little bit because you want people to get to know you. And the reality was that exactly. Once she began taking more consideration, basically respect, having good manners, respect, etiquette, she then began to build relationships. And then she could be her crazy loud self all the time because they already knew her, right? But they didn't know her yet. So she's much happier now. So like I was saying, so sometimes we are the problem, but we don't know why. We don't even know that we're the problem. There's a lot of victims out there. I hit this glass ceiling. It's because I'm a woman. It's because I'm this. But the reality is, this beautiful country, it's usually us. And the reason it's us is we just don't know what the problem is, right? So we are the problem. We just don't know. So people who exhibit good manners tend to create a more positive impression, which can lead to better business outcomes. You ever think of manners that way? I'm gonna have better business relationships. People will want to deal with me more because we have better manners, okay? So dress, what's the occasion? Think about that always. Where am I going, right? If you're going to the golf course, are you gonna wear heels, ladies? Probably not, right? But if you're going to a formal activity, you better believe you're wearing your dress. Same with you gentlemen. I hope you're not wearing dresses, but to each their own, I guess. But you're gonna dress appropriately for the occasion. So find out who may be attending and what type of event you'll be attending, okay? Remember, how do I wanna be viewed at this occasion, okay? Always dress for the job that you want or the people you want to work for. We've heard this all through high school, right? I hope so. Pick a style. So this is what I'm gonna touch on real quick. Pick a style. Pick something that feels good to you, but remember you wanna keep it classy, okay? Keep it classy, and my favorite is classic, right? We could spend so much money staying on top of the trends, which is so much fun. But that can get costly. It can get costly to buy, $5,000 suits, just saying. But if you go classy, you can go ahead and you're like, well, I'm gonna get these 2 pairs of pants, I'm gonna go ahead and get these 5 different shirts, and I can wear these interchangeably. But when you do that, please remember, buy a little bit more upscale in that situation because one, you want it to look nice, clean, cut at all times. And if you're wearing something that was maybe cheap or inexpensive when you bought it, likely it's gonna get worn out much faster, and we don't want that. So keep that in mind. So I thought this was really interesting. A new study found that women wearing makeup were perceived as more trustworthy compared to women without makeup by both men and women. Now, it's a sucky subject. We don't want to ever think that that's how we're being viewed by what we look like. But the reality is we are. Now, am I talking you have to put on like full-on makeup? No. I'm talking about usually what it is evening the skin tone. So sometimes that's just good skincare, right? Even the skin tone and maybe put the colors where you want. Highlight the things that are beautiful to us, okay? So just to give an example, I didn't want to just throw everybody under the bus. I figured I'd throw myself under the bus too. So befores and afters. Like, well, yeah, I mean, I don't think we look horrible, but I feel like, yeah, this probably gives a better perception when someone first meets me, okay? They can figure this out later.
Where's a man with makeup on?
Where's a man with height? Not happening. So here's the question I want you to ask you. What would you think in this situation? If you were meeting with someone that you were going to do business with and their hair was a mess, maybe they were dirty, they had no real consideration for a comb or a hairbrush, what would your first thoughts be, right? So let's just assume we're thinking like, okay, yeah, everyone goes through something, right? But this is your first meeting as well, right? Not enough sleep. Well, I might interpret that as they're just not up for the job, right? They were in a rush. Well, they're not good time managers, okay? They look messy. Not a good representation of the company. They had a bad morning. Well, their life is a mess. They are just not serious. So these are common things that we might start thinking. And it's not that we want to be these kind of human beings, but the reality is it's our nature. It's just our nature, and we have to accept that it is our nature. And if it's not your nature, great, but it's someone else's. So you have to keep that in mind, okay? So you want to make sure that you are setting yourself apart. If there are 10 people out there doing what you do, why are you going to give them an excuse to choose someone else? If it's something as ridiculous as, I just didn't feel like getting dressed up that day, well, they're going to go with someone else because they wanted to be ready. You're taking that seriously, right? That's what's important. All right, let's talk about brush and style your hair. Maybe a little makeup. Brush or style your hair with a little bit of makeup can actually go a long way in the psychology of trust, and that's just the way it is, guys. Oh, ducks. Okay, so when I was a kid, my father always told me, if you look like a duck, you walk like a duck. You are a duck. Anybody else hear that? Yes, that was like the go-to for parents, especially if you were a teenager. Okay, so which was my interpretation is watching you portray yourself and who you hang out with, because this sign applies to our business. Now, we are going to be loving, considerate, good people, because people that have good manners, have good etiquette, are always going to sit there and say, I want to get to know who the real person is in you. But keep in mind that there are other people watching as well, and you pay attention. It doesn't mean you have to be a jerk. It doesn't mean you have to sit there and snub somebody. That's not what I'm saying. Because you want to be polite. And you want those people that maybe you wouldn't associate with so much to say, you know what? They're really nice people. Okay? So you got to keep that in mind as well. There is a balance you have to hold. Okay? So here's a quick tip, ladies. This is something that I read. I was reading in a book, and I thought this is the most amazing thing on earth, that I will live by this forever. You ever run into a situation where you are running out that door and you can't get quite that nice? Okay, so here's the deal. Pick 2 of these and you will always look put together, no matter the occasion. So hair, makeup, clothes. Pick 2 of them, right? The other won't matter. So for instance, if I have my makeup on and my hair's done, I can wear sweats. Nobody will care. They'll be like, she's so cute. Look at her with her sweats, right? Or the other way around, whereas I'm like, well, I have a nice makeup, I got a nice outfit on, I can throw my hair up in a messy bun. Everyone thinks I'm adorable. Okay, these are just different things. So here's a quick tip to keep this in mind when you're rushing out the door, okay? Next thing, let's talk hygiene. Look, smell, and be clean. Yes, I know that everybody should have learned this in health class, but some of you may know some were asleep, okay? You might have met that sleeping person that was in health class. So let's talk about that. We're gonna wash and moisturize our face and our entire bodies. It's extremely important. Why we get ashy, folks? It doesn't look nice. We always wanna look clean, right? Moisturize. Clean nails, men and women. It's okay, guys, you can get a manicure too. It's totally fine. That actually used to be a thing, okay? Make sure your hands look clean, clean cut, always. Teeth, keep them clean, obviously brush your teeth. Bad breath, okay, you guys. If at any point you say to yourself, do I have bad breath? Okay, if you say that, just assume you do. Just assume you do. Get some mouthwash, get a mint, get some gum. Although, if you're choosing gum, to help with that, make sure you chew it, spit it out before you get to an event, because otherwise you look like a cow when you're chewing, okay? So, ironing is not a thing of the past. Folks, now purposely I like to buy clothes that I do not have to iron if I can help it. Although if you are trying to look sharp, a lot of the times when you're buying more expensive clothes, their clothes you're gonna have to iron. So make sure you look at them, maybe plan the night before, okay? No stains and tears on your clothing and hair. You know what, just do your hair. Just do it. Smell. Okay, smell. Soap has a really great smell, guys, and we like it clean. Perfumes and colognes are great. It's best to apply them on your body, not your clothing, because they become overwhelming, okay? How many times have you thought about how strong a cologne or perfume is, right? And they walk away and you're like, they're gone, right? So just something to keep in mind. Oil-based colognes or perfumes, they're stronger, they will last longer, although your brain will tell you that it doesn't exist anymore because it's no longer a threat. So don't think, oh, I better go apply some more. No. That's not the situation, not typically. We're not in high school anymore. Once again, remember those hallways in high school? They were great. The cologne was legit. Cool water for days. All right, so don't forget your deodorant. Now, sometimes this is not enough, There are lots of options out there that can help with smell when it comes to your underarms. There are natural things like Lumi that it kind of kills the bacteria. If nothing else helps, there is an option, it's called Mirror Dry. It actually gets rid of 80% of smell and sweat under your arms. So if you guys want to know anybody with that issue, send them my way, I can give them some info. Be clean. Once again, soap is awesome. Wash your hair, wash your body, wash your nails. Now, I'm going to talk about nails real quick. This is really important. If you choose to go the route to have longer nails, people, make sure you are carrying one of these brushes around with you. Why? The bacteria under our nails is disgusting. Two, and it can look very dirty. So you don't want people to associate you with dirty, especially if you're having luncheons and things like that. So keep that in mind. If your nail polish is chipped, go home, get it off. It's okay. Take off your nail polish. And if you have a broken nail, if it's, clip them all or get it fixed. Okay? It's all about the whole idea of looking put together. Okay? Clothes, pit stains, deodorant. Just throw the shirt away. You're not getting it out. Okay? You're not getting it out. Get rid of it. Make sure your clothes are fresh, bright, and vibrant at all times. And there's lots of different ways to do that. I'm sure there's on YouTube. You can find all kinds of ways to keep your clothes looking awesome. Now that we have our image under control, it's time for a little bit of networking. So let me see. Do I have time for networking today, guys? No. Okay, I'm gonna just jump into it then. Okay, network. Where, when, how often, and why. Remember, most importantly, why. Why am I doing this? Am I going just to make friends and hang out? Or am I going to actually, in the end, close business? Okay, and determine what direction you're going with this. Now, I'm saying when you are networking, you're gonna make sure that you do create relationships with people, but keep it business. Don't sit there for 3 hours with one person like I do. I do it all the time. I love chatting with people. It's a problem because it's fun, but pay attention and determine how often you're gonna be doing that, okay? You're gonna gather information about the event before you go to it. Every place you go is an opportunity for networking, so keep this in mind when you go out. So this is the whole 2 out of 3 rule. Every opportunity is, every time you walk out your door is an opportunity to network. People will know who you are, okay? So dress for the occasion. When you arrive, take a deep breath because we get nervous and that's a reality of it, okay? Gather info and set up appointments for the future. This is the part of like getting to know somebody, but then set up your one-to-ones because that way you can move on to the next person. Become someone people will want to talk to. We talked about that earlier, right? We're not gonna get into people's bubbles and all that. Okay, when you walk into a room, as you smile, you wanna smile with your head up high, not this high, because then you're a snob. Not like this, because then you're sad and nobody wants to talk to you. But if you walk up, chin level parallel to the floor, people will think, wow, and you smile and people are gonna be like, wow, she seems nice, he seems awesome, I wanna get to know him. And that's exactly what you want. You want to attract that, okay? So even though you've had the cruddiest day, you need to go in your head and you need to go, okay, that morning was horrible. You need to get this pretend plastic trash bag and you're gonna grab everything in your head, you're gonna stuff it in that trash bag and you're gonna leave it outside that door. No one's gonna take it, okay? No one's taking that trash bag. So go in, be your awesome self, come back out and pick up your crud. Nobody else wants it. Or you can leave it behind, throw it in the trash, for real, okay? All right, if you are alone and no one's talking to you, and you know no one, gosh, that's horrible. Go grab a drink. This is a really weird trick. When you walk in, you know nobody. Beeline it to the drink table. Go get yourself a drink. People will talk to you more if you have a drink in your hand. Oh, you look more sociable. You look exciting. Oh, hey, how are you doing? Keep it in your left hand so you can shake hands, okay? So just remember that. Just little tricks. One of the easiest connections would be that you can find another person that's alone. Then you're a hero. Who doesn't want to be a hero, right? So you can go be that hero because that person's all alone. Make friends with them, okay? Usually then you'll start building confidence yourself. You'll be able to go talk with other people. And then the next time you come, you know somebody, okay? So look for those half circles. Everyone knows about the half circles when networking, okay? If they're in a half circle, then you can jump in. But if they're like face to face, don't even bother getting in the conversation. They're having something personal. So keep that in mind. If you want to allow people to network with you, keep your circles open, okay? Be polite, listen, and then insert when it makes sense. So if you're walking into this conversation, smiling, right? Hey, hi, and you're listening, they're in the middle of a conversation. Think about it, insert when it makes sense. Don't just jump in the middle of someone's conversation, okay? For instance, there was a half circle event. My job every day is to network, basically. And so I walked into this conversation, I sat and I said, well, I am just looking for 2 lovely ladies to talk with, and I guess I'm talking to you. And they smiled and I smiled back, and hey, who are you? I'm getting to know them. I discovered they need some help, or I know the people that can help them. Oh, you know what? Let me introduce you to them right now. Grab them by the hands, let's go over here. This is who they are, and I've moved on. But now I will be forever burned in their head, okay? Let me see, boundaries, respect that bubble, you guys. People have it. Don't forget your elevator speech, and I can always give more conversations about that. Be consistent at the networking events. You want to make sure, make that decision, like how often, as we said before, once a month, once every 2 weeks, whatever that is, but be consistent so people will recognize you and will trust you. Okay, what if someone has no boundaries? You guys ever dealt with that? Someone's in your face, right? Can I get a volunteer? I'm going to show you a trick on how to get out of this situation without being rude. Okay, somebody? Okay, anybody? Okay, come on over. I need a volunteer. Okay, so this is the typical situation that happens, right? You're like, oh my God, hurry, oh. And you're like, why are they in my face, right? Or they're breasting so bad. It's just bad, right? And they're constantly, and you're doing this movement, and then they're following you, and you're doing this, and then you're doing it. And for whatever reason, they just don't get it. So what you do is I'm talking to you, right? And so, here, come over here. Come over here. Okay, so what we're gonna do, you guys pay attention to my feet, this is important. I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, really? Is we're like this? I'm gonna stick my foot here, okay? Step this foot back and lean back. Unless they wanna freaking tangle with me, they're not gonna be in my face anymore, okay? Now, if they're gonna come in and tangle, well, you know what, they've earned it, let's dance. But the reality is that this is a good way to get out of it. You don't have to be rude and be like, dude, get out of my face. You literally just go, oh, okay, awesome. And you're like this. So if you ever see me doing this, you know why. You know why. Stay away. No, I'm kidding. Thank you so much for that. She was awesome. All right, thank you. All right, so don't really have time for any questions, but here's some information. Relationship is my business. Here's my phone number. There's my my website. And then also I have YouTube and Facebook where I do a lot on YouTube where I actually give a lot of tips and tricks, so like 30 seconds, a lot of fun. So thank you guys so much.